Breaking right now, Meghan Markle's doomed Netflix deal may even see her partially finished cooking series never make it to air. Lady Colin Campbell up very shortly on this.
All right, let's get straight into it. The royal roller coaster just kicked into high gear, and at the centre we've got Meghan Markle, Omid Scobie, and the ever-outspoken Lady Colin Campbell. Lady C has officially gone nuclear, calling Meghan and Scobie, quote, ridiculous plastic creatures destroyed by ego. Ouch, but is she right?
But first, let me just take you through these reports. So, a Netflix insider says that the streaming service is not impressed with Polo's reception and that Meghan's cooking show might not make it. It will also mark, they say, the end of Netflix's $100 million deal with the couple. A source said there won't be another deal. There may be one-offs, but that's it. Now, a Netflix insider has also said that the Meghan show is make or break for the couple who had hoped to build a TV dynasty. So there is a lot of pressure on here, but a Californian source added to the Mail, people say Netflix are exhausted. It's so much work with her, and bluntly, the deliverable does not seem to be worth it. Another entertainment executive told the newspaper her show will have to be an enormous hit to turn around their deal and their reputations in this town. Lady Colin Campbell, goodness me, it's too late, isn't it now, Lady C? Netflix are embarrassed about what's happened with Polo. They want to pretend it almost doesn't exist. And I just see no way that a self-indulgent series of Meghan cooking for her woke mates is all of a sudden going to provide Netflix with the hit that they so desperately need. I mean, they haven't provided one drama. They haven't provided one scripted series. The only thing that worked was Harry and Meghan when they trashed on their own family. And of course, even that had far less interest and viewership than the big one that they didn't give to Netflix, but instead they gifted to Oprah Winfrey on CBS.
So, here's what's got everyone talking. Meghan's big Netflix deal? Yeah, that $100 million headline grabber, it's hanging by a thread. Insiders say her much-hyped lifestyle show, With Love, Meghan, might never even drop. Netflix execs are reportedly exhausted, not just by the endless headlines, but by content that, let's be honest, isn't exactly setting the world on fire.
Well, of course, they didn't gift it to Oprah, as you know only too well, Dan. They managed to get paid through the back door,
Yes.
you know.
Yes, we still don't know, do we? But there's that huge multi-million-dollar donation to Archwell. I wonder who that came from. So yes, good point. But you know the point that I'm making, though. Really,
Yes.
Given how much Netflix was paying them, it was an outrageous decision.
Well, it showed how naive and disloyal, treacherous, and plain plumb stupid they were. Because that's, you know, but it shows if you're a double dealer, you continue to double deal. I honestly do not see how that American Riviera Orchard show is going to be a lifesaver for them. Meghan is a very unlikable personality. Once the public gains an insight into a public figure by seeing enough of them in action, the public makes up its own mind as to whether it likes that person or not. I mean, because once you know somebody enough television, it's like knowing them personally. And Meghan has proven herself to be so unlikable that, and if she were unlikable but fascinating, that might be a different matter. For instance, Gwyneth Paltrow isn't particularly likable, but she was a big star before, and she's outrageous in a sort of hippie-ish sort of way, you know, vaginal candles and all the rest of it.
And Martha Stewart's a good example of that too, surely. Not necessarily likable, but people are incredibly impressed and want to emulate parts of her life.
Exactly, exactly. And Martha Stewart is actually, I think, far more likable than Gwyneth Paltrow. But each of them actually has a certain glamour and a certain appeal that people want to be a part of.
Totally agree.
Nobody wants to be a part of Meghan Markle's pity fest, and and the who wants to be joining the Judas Iscariot team? I honestly don't see it working unless she has a personality transplant. I just look at, look at that photograph. The woman is so contrived. There's absolutely nothing natural about her, and it turns people off. And if she had something of interest to say, or if she were outrageous, even in a negative way, but it would be entertaining. There's nothing entertaining about her. She's a bore. She's revealed herself to be a vacuous bore. And do we seriously think that there are going to be millions of people looking at a royal oik in operation, as she says, oh, and we're now going to be doing our, shall we do eggs Benedict? And eggs Benedict is very chic, and eggs Benedict is something that only the elite ever have. And
with
of
this
course,
coconut milk, which costs $10 a bottle.
After the lukewarm reaction to Harry and Meghan, the streaming giant's ready to pull the plug. That deal could be toast. Now, let's talk about Omid Scobie. Once the unofficial spokesperson for the Sussex squad, now he's backpedaling fast after credibility hits left and right. Even die-hard fans are starting to look elsewhere for their royal fix. And Lady C, she's not just stirring the pot.
Yeah, but also the supply for American Riviera Orchard to be anything but entertainment. If it's going to be something like QVC that will supply goods, they need the stock. Somebody needs to invest in the tens of thousands of each item in case it sells. And if it doesn't sell, forget it. And if it's a limited edition, that is actually a way forward. That everything is a limited edition, 500 of one thing, 500 of another, or 1,000. That is a way of keeping costs down and maybe elevating the price. I shouldn't be saying this because they might not have thought of it, but that is the only way forward for a commercial enterprise of flogging jam and all the rest of it. But also, she's not prestigious. People buy Highgrove jam, they buy Buckingham Palace products because they are prestigious. There's nothing prestigious about Meghan Markle or American Riviera Orchard.
And the most extraordinary thing is that Netflix has been prepared to delay the series simply to try and allow Meghan the opportunity to get her act together and actually have the product ready for when the TV show starts. Now, I'm surprised they give a damn, because their job is to get people watching their shows, not to help Meghan Markle sell her crappy product. And of course, because she found it impossible to find a chief executive, she's having to do all of this herself. But look, Lady Colin Campbell, the whole mainstream media now has really woken up to Meghan Markle. Certainly a lot of the publications in the US that used to be slavishly loyal, the likes of Newsweek and The Cut, have turned because actually even they have been able to see the writing on the wall. But there's one man, Lady C. He's the Goebbels character, and he will go down with this ship. And you know who I'm talking about. You describe him as scabies. I call him that very odd-looking man. And I had to get your reaction to a post that he made this week, attempting to take down people like you and me and royal YouTubers as well, which is particularly interesting, by the way, because he now claims that he's retired from the royal beat, which I think is more just because no one in royal circles would dare utter a word to him. But this is what Omid Scobie posted on his X account. Requirements to become a royal commentator or expert in 2024-2025. 0 journalism experience. Be totally unhinged. An unhealthy interest in kids you don't know. Hardcore royalist. Happy to do GB News or Rude Word YouTube show for pennies. Limited vocabulary. Own a USB mic. Lady C, I wanted to give you the opportunity to respond.
She's upending the whole table. Her takedowns are savage, but here's the question. Is she exposing a hard truth about the Sussex brand? Is this the endgame for Meghan and Scobie unless they totally reinvent? I want to hear from you. Is Meghan's Netflix career officially over? Can Omid Scobie bounce back? And, real talk, would you actually watch with love Meghan if it ever saw the light of day? Hit the comments, like, share and smash that subscribe for more royal bombshells, media madness and everything in between. Thanks for watching. See you next time.